Welcome to the CFG GameCast, episode number 53, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode on the weekends on Saturdays and release it on podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. So show us some love, give us a follow, give us a like, comment, what have you, on any podcast services to not miss an episode, or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to check out all the great content with all our creators. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, Davis Green, and with me today are two awesome co-hosts, as always. I got, I got Lex on the second seat. How's it going?
It's been a week.
I know.
It's been a week.
It's been It's been a hard week. Yeah, I could easily. It's been like that for everyone over here. So, yeah, that's great. Well, I'm glad you're definitely hanging in there. Yeah, what have you been up to? Anything eventful, like game wise, or anything that was that happened that you want to share?
Oh, so much. But where do we start? So Monday, Tuesday was our normal stream days, and then Wednesday we took off so that we could start The Last of Us 2 on Thursday night at the designated time. Mm-hmm. I came in a little late because I got on and Smitty's already like ahead of me. I'm like, crap, I can't watch him. God dang it. And so I hurried and jumped on. So we've just been grinding that out ever since. That's what we've been doing all week.
You know what's funny? So like, I was on Facebook and then I saw a post on your stories and you just say, hey, we're going to play Last of Us 2. And it's like 12 o'clock on Thursday night or 12 Thursday. It was Thursday night, midnight. And you're like, I was like surprised that you were going to start that sucker so fast. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, man, I want to support you, but I don't want to watch it because it's gonna ruin my run through of playthrough of playing it. So I just went on Twitch just to see how everyone else is going, and then that's all I saw, just Last of Us 2, Last of Us 2, Last of Us 2, and I was like, okay, I think it's time to go to bed. So, but that's good. Well, I'm glad you're playing it. I'll be on that bandwagon next week, so that's good. That's good. All right. And I got the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty on the third seat. What's going on, Smitty?
Chilling, my friend. I am also on that Last of Us 2 live. I streamed it Thursday, although I think it was more me jibber-jabbing and taking shots than anything. I did not get very far at all.
Classic Smitty.
Yeah. However, I think I'm gonna just do the rest of it offline. I know there's a lot of people on there, and there's so many sourpusses that look to spoil games for people. So many. And plus, I forgot too. Like, I have a 4K TV, so I popped it in the bedroom, and it looks gorgeous. And I was like, yeah, I'm good on. I was like, I'm just gonna play it. So I'm enjoying that. That was fun. I ended up taking off last night. The girls came back from Northern Nevada last night, so we just hung out and caught up and chilled out and whatnot. And then here we are today. I do hopefully right now for LAN parties on Monday, I believe it is. I need to go in my calendar. It's Monday or Tuesday. We have an interview set up with Nolan North.
Oh wow! Nice.
Yeah.
Uncharted,
so
right?
Yeah. He's been in a bunch of things and stuff like that. So we'll see if that goes through. And then last week on this last episode, we had GVBTB, who's a professional esports player out here in Vegas. Yeah, and Lexum, their friends, and whatnot. So it's been pretty good. Playing the games and whatnot. So and then tonight I'll be on Mishmash TV starting at 8 for some Destiny 2. So
look at you doing things and stuff, man. You're always on the move. So busy.
You gotta shake and move, man.
You gotta shake and move. Shake hands and kiss babies, I know how to say that.
What about you, man? How was your week, my friend?
Yo, so so this is what I was planning on doing, because so I had to get surgery on my wrist, so there we go, on Friday. So I decided to say, you know what, I'm off this week, so let me play a game that I know that I wanted to play. So my friend told me that the new Pokemon expansion was coming out on Wednesday, so I was like, oh crap, I need to. I already got the game, so I might as well just finish Pokemon. So like for the first 4 days for the 4 days of the week, I decided, let me just finish this game. And so I played so I did like 7-hour streams for like the last 3 for like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It was great, especially the community and everything made it fun and stuff. And then me just bashing the characters in this so like we were having a good time. So then so I was like, okay, got it. Let me do the expansion on Wednesday and Thursday, beat that so I can do Last of Us, get ready for the Last of Us, because that's what I'm gonna do. That's my plan. I'm planning on streaming Last of Us next week. So then got all of that, got ready for my surgery. Surgery was a success. Then like today I had some issues with it, so I had to go to the doctor again and to take a look at the dressing and how all that was set up, because originally I was going to meet someone there and for some ramen, but I had to cancel. I had to cancel it, but then came back. So I actually had a pretty good week. It was actually a nice relaxed week. But now I'm a little bit behind on the website, and then so going to be focusing on that a little bit more next week. But but definitely tuned in. It was really cool, really really fun. And I have to say, I liked the new Pokemon game. It was really 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 fun. So
you said you got the expansion, or you already beat the expansion?
Yeah, I beat the expansion.
Woo.
Yeah, the expansion's not that long, and to be honest with you, like to be totally 100% with you on this, I don't think the expansion was worth the $30 that I got for it. So because when you want an expansion, you're getting what you're supposed to get, an expansion of new Pokemon, new abilities and stuff like that. You don't get this one. Instead, you get previous generation Pokemon all in this giant island, and you're just doing all of this. And there's maybe 2. I only came across 2 or 3 new Pokemon period. So I felt like the amount of money that you paid for this doesn't justify the amount of money that you got out of it. So so but and then the story is only maybe 2 or 3 hours long. So I wasn't surprised about that at all, but I mean, right. If you like Pokemon, you like to do all this extra stuff, go for it. But it's not my it's not my thing to be to be hardcore about it though. But I'm just calling how I see it. the game is.
I'm the hardcore one here. Let's be honest.
You really clearly are. There's no one's debating that at all whatsoever. I took a page of your book. That's how I felt when I did those 7-hour streams. I'm
proud of you, man. I was watching you too. I was lurking while I was working behind the scenes. I was like,
same.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get down to it. Let's get to the normal rigmarole, how it always goes. So each of us picks a new topic of discussion within video games from the previous week. The topic would or could be something about a specific game or something that happened in the gaming industry itself. And we don't want to talk about it amongst ourselves. We want you, the listeners or the viewers of our Twitch, to be a part of the conversation. So if you have something that you want to chime in about, by all means, type it inside the chat. We'll post it up, and we'll add it to the conversation that we're talking about. So as always, let's get down to it. So the big one will go with Lex. What is your topic that you're bringing to the table?
Hi guys. So it's we already talked about it. I've been playing The Last of Us 2. And
you are?
I am. A fun fact, it's a game that came out. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a sequel to The Last of Us. Here's the thing. A couple weeks ago, and I've waited for years to play this game because I knew I didn't have a PlayStation 3, got the PlayStation 4, was going to play it, but then I'd heard the second one was going to come out. And I have what I like to call muchness, meaning if I know that there's more, I want it now, and I want it all, okay? Mm-hmm. And so I waited. I've waited patiently. I didn't spoil the first one for myself at all. I mean, we talked about it. There were things that I didn't even know that I would, I guess this is a spoiler for the first one. I didn't know I played as Joel at all. I had no idea, no clue. Mm-hmm. Because all I had ever seen was the Ellie playthroughs, like a little bit of that. And that was it when you do the switcheroo.
Yeah.
So to me, I didn't know. And so playing as Joel for most of the game was fantastic. Now, guys, don't worry. I'm not going to give any spoilers. But what I have noticed from then And I kind of talked about it then for that weekend that I finished it, how I had a lot of people come in and they were giving me social commentary that was A, very rude. And B, it's always unsolicited when people say things and you're like, oh, I hate this game. You get that a lot, especially as a broadcaster, and you know what I'm talking about. Even watching other broadcasters, you see people come in, they're like, this game's stupid. Why are you playing it? And it's like, why are you here? Where's your mother? Do you need me to call your mom, come get you? You know, it's one of those, like, did you get lost on the internet? Why are you bothering me? Right? They do it for their own amusement. But now it's gotten to the point where I'm playing the game and we've had a few people come in. They're like, can I stay in this corner of the internet for a little while? Like, this place seems cool. And like, you're free to be here. And they've commented on the fact that people are giving this game so much hate. I got it with the first one. And now with this one, I'm getting it, I would say tenfold. And of course, a lot of it in the first one was the LGBT narrative is more like the hate that I got towards Ellie in the first game. Now it's more of like controversy stuff, like behind the scenes with people and names that I'm supposed to know. And it's like, well, wait a minute. So you're hearing rumors on the internet and you're bandwagoning and coming to yell at me about it. I'm trying to give this game just a fair shot. I haven't played it all the way through. I'm trying to navigate it. It's beautifully done, just as the first one, if not better. Everything I love from that game seems to so far be in this game. Again, I'm not going to get into any spoilers. But the narrative I'm seeing at like one point, not yesterday, but the day before, someone was like, well, what about Amy, who was a writer on Uncharted, who left in 2014? And it's like, look, I can only hold so much knowledge in my noggin at a time, and I can only be angry about so many things at one time. But it seems that people are purposefully targeting the game. Like I haven't looked at any reviews because I don't want to spoil it for myself. I want to play it. I want to have my own opinion. Games are subjective. CFG says it all the time. Davis talks about like games are all subjective. It can be a fabulous game, but you may not like it because maybe horror is not your thing or whatever the case may be. And I read a good article, and I'm not going to have them post it because, again, I don't want to spoil anything from anyone. And they said it very eloquently. People are allowed to dislike the game. Yet 95% of the reasons I've seen for people saying the game sucks are from people who, A, have not ever played it, B, got through the first hour and a half, freaked out, or C, have their own very, very clear agenda surfacing, which you definitely didn't see when they were playing as Joel. So that's where I'm running into an issue. And before stream, some things had gotten brought up. I haven't gotten to that part. I can't comment on it. Mm-hmm. I also don't know if I'm the person to comment on it. But trying to understand from a perspective where I may not ever be able to, certain things, it's like, well, wait a minute. Are we talking about a game that's full trauma the entire game, and these people who are all individuals themselves are experiencing certain things? Or like that's where my head lies. It's like, wait a minute, like you're mad because they're being woke and putting characters in a game. But if they didn't put these characters in the game and didn't give them their storylines that they currently have, I feel that there would be just as much backlash, right?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, because
in 2020, if you make a game and you don't put at least one gay character in there, like what's wrong with you?
Well, I mean, I don't even know about that. Like, cause like there's so many different mixed. Like I said, I haven't touched the game yet. I haven't, so I don't really have a full grasp of what is happening inside of this. But what I have seen is the level of negativity that I did see, that I was just like upset to see. Like, I was not like, mad or anything, but I was just disappointed when I saw the Metacritic scores. When I saw the Metacritic scores, because like it was funny because actually I was playing a different game. I think I was playing Heroes of the Storm with my friend, and then he's like, and I asked him, he's like, "Hey, are you getting Last of Us 2?" He's like, "Oh no, I mean, have you seen the Metacritic scores? Those are terrible." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And so I looked at it. And he told me that like 15,000 Metacritic scores are showing it at the 3 below, and I'm like, well, I don't trust Metacritic with that kind of with those kind of scores, with user scores, because basically user scores means nothing, because anyone can put it out there, and so it can be easily influenced, and then
like Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, exactly. So like so I decided, you know what? Yeah, I don't care. I've been waiting for this for years. Everyone's been waiting for this game for years, and it's hard for me to believe that a company like Naughty Dog that's been like on key point on storytelling of all their IPs for the past like 10 or 15 years to miss this badly. It's like, no, I got to see it for myself, because I don't because like I was totally all in on The Last of Us, the first one, and towards the second one, and then when the things that I have seen with streamers and stuff, I'm not seeing that kind of like, hatred of like, oh, this game is crap on playing wise. So I was like, okay, so there has to be some sort of level of mixed story itself. And so like, I didn't really fully dig in on like where this hatred is coming from. I mean, I know some of it is definitely between LGBTQ representation of how it is. I just don't know what kind of representation this game has in it, not yet. And then but then at the same time, I think there's a lot of people that are just saying, hey, this is a AAA game that looks like it's that looks like it's going to be garbage, so let me get on that bandwagon and just totally add fuel to its fire. So I mean, that's what's really upsetting to me. It's just like, why are people aiming for a game to be bad when the story maybe a better could be better. We don't know, and I don't believe all those the thousands of people that downvoted this thing has played it, because it's only been 24 hours. Like there's no flipping way I could believe that. So I don't know. Like it's just like, you can't just hate something to hate something. Towards it, and this game is clearly, for some odd reason, is just a lightning pole of just wanting to hate it, and I don't know, for some reason. I mean, am I wrong?
I never got into it. Yeah, I never got into it either. I saw that there was hate and a lot of shade being thrown at the game, but I haven't dove into it at all because I didn't want to spoil anything for myself.
Exactly.
So it's hard to be able to actually say. I'm not sure why. I mean, again, to me either, like the fact that however she chooses this fictional character chooses to be, like, I guess I never really think about it in those terms. I could see how it definitely affects people, how it can make somebody feel included or whatever. But I mean, again, you're always going to have people trying to make these crazy, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this is a problem, I hate it. People love to hate things, I feel like. And then as far as reviews, I never look at reviews. I don't look at reviews for movies. Absolutely. I don't look at reviews for games, because it's like, I want to experience it for myself. Because although Joe Schmo may think this is crap, I could think this is one of the greatest things ever. I mean, Lost, for example. A lot of people hated Lost. I loved Lost.
It. Me too.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, like,
well, clearly, y'all are wrong, but still.
Do you see what I'm saying? No, and it's just, again, it's just culture, and I think there's a number of factors here happening. Number one, the current situation that we're in. Everybody's locked down. I feel like people are just bored and looking for stuff to do. They're spending way more time than we ever have on the internet, on socials, on this and that. And there's all kinds of stuff. Not only that, but just the emotional and mental impact it's had on us individually. You know what I mean? Like that, this is a stressful time, even though it may not necessarily feel like it. To some people, it absolutely is. And it absolutely has some sort of effect on our psyche as well. And we're starting to see that. And we're starting to see people come out and just say just the craziest things. Like literally, I've had to just step away from social media majority of the days because it's just too much information. It's too many one side or the other side, and people just hating on things to hate and whatnot. And I feel like this very much falls in line, kind of like you're saying, this bandwagon, this culture of, this is terrible. Yeah, I feel that way too, because Billy Bob said I should feel this way. I mean, like, that stuff I take as a grain of salt, with a grain of salt, and for me, this is all about what the story is, and you know what I mean. I'll be able to tell you after I'm done with the game how I feel about it, but I couldn't possibly, you know what I mean. Like, I'm enjoying what I'm playing right now. You know, being able to continue the story that we left off from 6-7 years ago. That's what I was excited about. So, a lot of the other things. I guess I haven't been, again, I was one of the ones that didn't even go in watching the trailer or anything like that. I was like, I don't want anything. I just want to go into this, blind. So, it's that, again, I kind of feel like it goes kind of on that culture of, just that hate and cancel culture. And like, people say this and all of a sudden, like, you got masses of people now. Yeah, yes, I agree. And you're kind of like you're saying, I never played any of the games or any of the stuff, yet you're hating a game that you've never played. How's that even? It's like saying that. Yeah, how can you do that? Well,
I mean, one of the most, like Tash share, hashtag idiot culture. I definitely agree. But the biggest thing I have is like, you know what? I'm perfectly. I'm kidding about, like, obviously. One man's garbage is another man's treasure. That's the mentality that everyone should actually kind of have. It's like, yes, people will not like this game. Obviously, everyone is never 100% on top of the thing saying this game is great. But what really pisses me off of all this is how people are attacking people towards this because of their opinion of these games. And just going into these streams. It's like, so like, I just think that kind of level of toxicity is something that is not only something that we should not, that the game should not introduce to people, but it's just terrible. It's just a terrible idea. I don't understand why if Joe Schmo hates the game? That doesn't mean Joe Schmo should be going to someone else's stream and making that person feel bad because you don't look that you're loving the game. And then you're going to be doing into your power to be a dick to do what you're needing to do. This is the stuff that I'm seeing all the time about this. This is the stuff I'm hearing about all the time on this. There's other underlying issues on why people are hating this game, which I'm being reserved on because, like I said, I have not experienced it myself, so I'm not going to comment on that yet. But I'm just saying that the whole overall on how this outlook is just poisoning. It's just poisoning, that it just makes it so aggravating to see that, like, to see a game like this, to just a game. I mean, there's so much other stuff that we can be that is more important that's out there that's making people feel treating this way to people, and it's just terrible to me, Absolutely.
It's frustrating because, like, yeah, there's other games that people are like, yeah, I don't like that game, I don't like this game, and it stops there, right? But this seems to just, and in the first game I talked about it, how people were like, oh, this stupid feminist game. Where? Like, I played that game. There was no feminist agenda. Yeah, there was no feminist agenda being shoved down anyone's throat. I don't know how you're associating this with, you know what I mean? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. And I think people, again, I think a lot of us cannot handle being inside for amount of time that we have, because the keyboard warriors from, like, my older generation above me that I'm seeing them turn into about other things that don't matter right now. It's like, oh boy, because this isn't things that I feel like you wouldn't come up to me in the street and yell at me. You know what I mean? I think it's just so silly. I'm curious where this game goes. I've loved the first 15, 16 hours I've played of it. I'm trying to get ahead of the hate, essentially, to try to, like, get past and just finish the game so I can be like, I think you're wrong, or maybe I agree with you on some parts. I don't know yet because I haven't experienced it. And it's like, why does my experience with something not now matter? It's just your opinion. Why are you shoving that down my throat? I don't shove my opinion down your throat. Like, let's wait a second. Or maybe like it opens up a conversation, because there are conversations that absolutely do need to be had in this time. But you can't shut me down on that either. And it's like, I feel like we're at this weird crossroad where it's like, you either hate it or you don't. And if you don't, well, you're wrong.
And that's that. Yeah.
That's that. And haha, screw you. And I'm like, okay, I'm the bad guy, I guess.
Citizen B says, a reflection of society supporting of the idea that ignorant opinion is equal to my experience. It's carried over to gaming. And that's unfortunate. I hate to agree with that statement. It's not because that's because of what you're saying, Kiss, because you basically said that, put that exactly what it needs to be. But I just hate the fact that I have to believe that's where we're at right now. I mean, like, literally, we're not at a point where, like, we're all gamers. Some of us are streamers that like to share the experiences towards these kind of things. But what sucks is that, like, now you have to be precautious about somebody that's going to be just overtly rude or aggressive because you're not in line of what he thinks that this game is I mean, those oh, because of the LGBTQ stuff that's in the game, or this is the writer is not the original writer, so it's such a mess that we shouldn't even be messing around with it. So and then pushing that and aggressively doing that to you and your community is just annoyingly just angers me. I just like, it's like, come on guys, we're better than this. We're legitimately better than this, Oh,
absolutely. I have to shout out my mod. So, like, thank you guys for keeping the game sacred for me for a little bit. I mean, granted, like, I can barely read chat in general, so they get to see these things before I do, which is fantastic for me. But it's a ride we're doing together, and it's an experience that we're all experiencing together. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. And that's okay. You don't have to like it. But don't ruin it for other people. I don't understand where the, like, eye for an eye is coming into play when I didn't take your eye in the first place scenario, is what it feels like.
Oh, yeah. And that's just the streaming.
Why would you go around to streams on a game that you don't like anyway? I mean, you are literally going to somebody's stream to go bash on them. Nothing more than that. Because you're not even bringing like a real opinion in. You're just saying, well, you're a trash person because you're playing this game. Mm-hmm. All right, why? That, you know what I mean? Like, why does that make me?
They can't answer that.
Person for going around being an ass. So, what do you know what I mean? Like, what do you like, again, it's such a so people are so quick to jump on one side or the other. And you're right. It is I feel like a lot of it is turned into, well, this is what my opinion is, and every other opinion isn't right. It's like, you're just as bad as people that have contradictory opinions. The only way, you got to be able to have a conversation, and conversations are a two-way street. You get to talk, and you need to listen and receive as well. Otherwise, then you're not really having a conversation. You don't really want to have a conversation. Mm. You want to just push your opinion on the people.
Narrative.
Believe that, yeah, exactly. You just believe that they're trash if they don't believe in what you believe in. That's no way to be whatsoever.
I mean, just to put the bullet, and this is just the streaming and the just being a dick aspect of it. This is not even. This is not even touching the fact that it's like there's so many downvotes on this game. Like I like, that's the one I want to know. It's like, where are all these people coming from on this? Like, you should read some, like, if you have time. I mean, don't read all of them, but just like read some of the weird Metacritics, like some of these people on the Metacritic, because most people don't do that. But the reason why they're giving it a down. It's so vague on most of these. It's not even funny on the towards this, and it's funny because
probably don't know why.
Well, yeah, but what's funnier to me on this is that my friend, and I tell my friend all the time, and it's funny because, like, I have a website, shameless plug, confreaksandgeeks.com, that we do reviews, and we do tons of reviews, gaming, anime, manga, all those different kinds of stuff. But we at the same time are saying, don't put our word for it. This is opinionated. I mean, this is not something that's going to say this game is terrible, 2 stars. It was 2 stars because the person who played it didn't like it. But then I guarantee you there's going to be someone out there that's going to probably think it's a little bit better than just like, not wasting their time or towards this. But then, but he is very opinionated or goes by ratings for these things, and he's missing, and I tell him, you're missing out. There's a lot of games that are out there that you're missing out, that if you're going to go by what other people are saying about this, that you don't even know what the hell you like, because you're going by what these other people are telling you to. So no, I think that overall, I just think that this is really annoying to see. Now, because we are planning on doing a spoiler cast of Last of Us 2. It's not going to be today, but when we do, we'll actually have to sit down roundtable discussion, and then maybe obviously my opinions will not change on this, because I think the way this has been implemented in 24 hours, mind you, this is only 24 hours after the game came out. Then I think I stand pretty firm on that. But I will have all our opinions on how the game was and how it is for us overall, because it's a giant spectrum. Like IGN, the big companies that were reviewing it, IGN, GameSpot, Verge, all that stuff are giving it 9 and 10s. But yet at the same time, you see the user scores at 3 or 2 and stuff, and then it's like, why? Where's the disparity in that? So I don't know.
I just read some of the Metacritic reviews just quickly that were like zeros. Mm-hmm. And the writing was garbage. What part? Where?
Yeah, who does?
15 plus hours in. It's fantastic. Can we zoom in on me? It's fantastic.
I don't know.
Who are you and where did you come from? Go back there. Bye.
I just feel like he has like a Scottsdale or like some sort of South, like a very Beverly Hills is like, the writing was pedantic or some kind of weird thing like that, I just feel like that. I just feel, and I know for a fact.
You don't even know what that word means.
Oh, I know what that word means. It's just like, I mean, it's ridiculous. And then I guarantee you that you're telling me in 15 hours, the game is at least a 15 to 20 hour game. You're telling me that your review of this thing is a 0 because of the writing, because you're telling me that the story didn't make sense. Were you doing a 24-hour binge on this game towards this? I don't believe you. And that's what I'm saying.
There's no way.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way. So that's
that
what I'm saying.
That review went up 12 hours ago. How did you finish it before I did?
Yeah.
I'm not even done yet.
So
and ridiculous. I'm like the soldier through something kind of person. I made this a bet in my head that I had to finish before these 2 goons. So there's no way Joe Blow beat me to it. I don't believe it. I don't believe your review.
I bet you Lex is probably going to be like, yeah, Davis said that Davis says I'm a good for nothing son of a bitch. That's going to make me not want to think that I can't beat this game. Make me the villain again when I'm not.
Where's my Red Bull?
Oh God. Okay. But anyways, I think the rant's good. I like that topic.
I'm done.
Yeah. But
be quiet.
But I would like to close with this. People, just be good with each other, dudes. Seriously. This is we're a gaming community. And doesn't matter, the fact that one person may like the game, one person doesn't mean it's World War II between each other's sides. I just think that people just need to just keep an open mind and don't push your agenda on other people. I think overall, people, there's the gaming sides of anything. The gaming community is big enough for everybody, and they shouldn't make you feel guilty because you love the game and they didn't. So just be nice to each other. It's just common courtesy is what I'm saying,
Yeah.
So yeah. So alrighty. Smitty, what do you bring to the table?
Please.
I am next. So I thought this isn't just a nice little article that they had talked about here, but we've gotten the first now FDA approved for prescription video game for children with ADHD. I just wanted to read from the article a little bit, and I'm gonna post it here in chat so you guys can follow along. But the Food and Drug Administration has just approved Endeavor RX as an effective treatment for kids with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. Children aged 8 to 12 years can now be prescribed gaming sessions on Endeavor RX, in which players pilot a small aircraft through a variety of alien environments, including icy rivers, blah, 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 blah. The Endeavor RX device offers a non-drug option for improving symptoms associated with ADHD in children, and is an important example of the growing field of digital therapy and digital therapeutics, which I think is absolutely fantastic. I know that this is not the first time a game has necessarily gotten, dove into the medical benefits of it. But I think it's really exciting to see that we've got in the game. Not only is it a game that it's a game that can now be prescribed, via your doctor as a supplemental use for a game. Again, they're not saying it's an end all be all type of deal for ADHD. However, it's more of a supplemental tool to go with other treatments that has. Now, again, there's a little bit of bias to doctors that went in and are saying this were doctors from the developer or the publisher. I'm sorry. So I think there might be there could be a little bit of bias there as far as like with their study. But again, it's fun seeing them being able to go in. We have something now that is federally approved for prescription. Again, we're seeing the digital age into space and how on a more normalized level we're seeing this open up, and the possibilities are absolutely endless. I believe I love the fact that we now are and this is going to be interesting too, because you guys remember and this happens, I know it's happened like with like some of the school shootings and stuff like that. You start hearing the conversation about video games and violence, which, you know what I mean, obviously is garbage.
There's no correlation.
Yeah, exactly. But it's going to be interesting. They can't, how do you do that and yet have, also games that are being federally approved? So I think this is a huge step as far as not only for treatments and other options outside of being prescribed medicine. You know what I mean? I love the fact that they're going and they're digging deeper, because this is only, again, that first stepping stone where they're going to go and it'll expand and they'll figure out different ways. We already know that they use Wii's and stuff like that, or they were using Wii's in like old folks' homes. They're using and they're utilizing games to within the medical field, and they're able to get some of these benefits out of it. I think this is really exciting stuff as far as with it.
So are we talking about, like, is this not a specific game itself, but more like it's more of controlled?
It is a specific game.
It is a specific game? Do they have the name of the game?
Yes. Yeah.
Endeavor RX.
Endeavor RX? Okay.
Endeavor RX. Yeah.
That's what the game's called.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
I see.
I was trying to I couldn't really find a video that like really showed a lot of the gameplay for it, but it's like I think you're like a ship and you have to like go through and like, kind of move around obstacles, collect coins. It's really a tool for kids to be able to focus on. I know that they said some of the side effects are frustration and a headache.
Yeah.
They said, which is far better than half the drugs, you know what I mean, that we're being prescribed. So again, for them to be able to start diving deeper into other alternatives outside of just being fed pills, right. I think is fantastic and a huge step.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, go for it, Lex.
Coming from someone who has a teaching degree in special ed, this is fantastic. 36% of kids showed improvement in at least one objective measure of attention after playing Endeavor RX for 5 days a week for 4 weeks. That's huge. I don't think people realize, when you have a class for special education, you have a few severe children, whether it be cerebral palsy, like severe autism spectrum disorder. You have a few kids who are on that end, and then you have a lot of kids who are higher functioning, who are a lot of the times classified as ADD or ADHD. And it's a lot of, for so many years, teachers and other professionals didn't want to cater to making these kids interactive in what they were teaching. And so it was just, well, they don't pay attention because of this. Well, yes, but what are you doing? It's like in anything. If something is not successful, what do? You change tactics, right? And I think that this is perfect for like the growing amount of time. The spaceship reminds me of Little Einsteins, and now I'm singing the little rocket ship. No, that's fascinating. And they've done studies for the last like 50 years about how certain colors on like monitors and screens have like different like cognitive output. And the thing is, here's my thing. When you give children medication, their brains are not done developing until they're past 20 years old. So when you're doing that, you're altering a chemical in their brain, whether you're adding or taking away or what have you, right? And that can wreak havoc on somebody later in life and cause other side effects. So this is a tool, maybe alongside medication or alongside therapy. You know what I mean? This is huge. And a lot of kids who have ADD or ADHD, fun fact, to get them to pay attention in my class, I would have them do something physical with their hands, but talk to me at the same time, right? So they're having to do... Oh, that startled me. X, Y, or Z while they're doing the specific task, and the two together, it triggers one side of their brain to be focused on this, and their physical is being like the little fidget cubes. Those were great in my class. They were a huge hit because I would give those to the kids and we'd have story time and they could recall things, right? And all I added was a physical aspect, something they could tangibly touch. And so I think this is great. I love it. I'm a huge nerd when it comes to like children's psychology and things like that. And so this makes me happy. This makes me genuinely happy.
Well, that's cool. I definitely like the idea of them doing like, thinking outside the box, and instead of blaming gaming, but rather, finding something that will show productivity with just the gaming scene itself. Unfortunately, it's like they still have a long way to go when it comes to like, overall, because like you said earlier, Smitty, that this was more on a bias on the people that did do this themselves, but like rather this is a good stepping stone of showing, see, this isn't about school shootings and stuff like that. Like you can't blame gaming for all the bad things, but then yet at the same time you can't blame them for the good things that it provides to as well. Even though the bad things is not even in the right spot, the right place of blame at all for gaming. It's not game's fault for people doing what they do. It's yeah. So like overall, I think that like I think I'm definitely on board on this. Now I did have a couple of questions on it. Like you said that they showed 36% improvement when they were playing this for 5 days. Like, did they have a time frame of how long they were playing? Like, was this in a controlled like system of like, was it 30 minutes? Was it an hour? Like, how long did these kids do this? Did it say?
It doesn't. But of course, like in a control study, you have to have a certain amount of time frame to be able to then release data. You can't just willy-nilly be like, well, 30 minutes or an hour, right? Okay. But the study, the participants was 348 participants, so that's huge. I mean, I'm a few years younger than Smitty, and I don't know if he had parents who were like, yeah, let's do this. I had a computer, not that it did much, but I had Jumpstart, which was a huge thing. And you would play computer games that taught you to learn. That's how I learned how to type. It was a basketball game. And, you remember that? I keep telling him, I threaten my dad every time I see him pecking at his keyboard that I'm going to get him the basketball game so he can learn to type. But, I played, and a couple weeks ago, we talked about this, Wishbone and Jumpstart 4th grade. Yep. The spooky one was one of my favorite all-time games. It was done beautifully, and I learned a lot. I play it at least once a week just to brush up on my math. I know. But it was so fun, and it was such a great game. And the dizziness, the aggression. Here's my thing. We're aggressive anyways. We're human beings,
Especially
and
now.
I think, oh man, like we're all trapped inside. We're all aggressive. but I think this is a great start, and they can argue, well, we didn't do the study, so we can't say. Yes and no. You also look at journals, medical journals of review studies, and you can argue the same thing there too with neurological patients. So there's only so many studies that can be done in such a short period of time. And of course, I'm sure we would be great candidates, like Smitty and I and you would be fantastic candidates to see how gaming has improved, cognitive remembrance and things like that in our situations, because we were the first, if you think about it, we were the first gen really who had consistent games that we continue to play throughout our adulthood. Right. You know what I mean? And so my first games were learning games, and I loved them. I mean, my 92-year-old grandma still plays cards every day. That's doing something for her too. It's keeping her mind focused and doing those things. So regardless of the ADD or ADHD, I think there's a significance in what games can do for us and how they can improve certain things in our life. This one is specifically geared towards that and learning good behaviors like following directions and things like that. And I think that's a huge first step, and I think good for them. This is awesome. I like it.
And real quick to finish off though, so I went and looked at the actual study, and it says that via home play for 25 minutes a day, 5 days a week for 4 weeks was the time frame as far as with that.
Okay,
that's awesome.
That's good. So yeah, I mean, I figured there was going to be a time frame. I just didn't know how long that frame was, but yeah, it's reasonable. That's what I was wanting to think. I was thinking of. So, no, I mean, there's more power to them, especially if it's going to help with ADHD with that kind of level of improvements. By all means, let's get that bigger. see what it does.
Absolutely.
Yeah, big time. All right, so that is also done with that good topic. All right, so the last topic is going to be my topic. And I know
what you gonna talk about?
I'm going to talk about the elephant that's in the room, and that is Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh God!
Oh boy! So yeah, we know we've been wanting to get this game after they showed some videos of this 2 years ago, and unfortunately, the second time has happened that this game got delayed again for the second time. So Cyberpunk is now gotten pushed from September 17th to November 19th. Yeah, November 19th now. So there was a post on Twitter from the co-founders of CD Projekt Red, Marcin Iwinski and Adam Badowski, I believe, who was the head of the studio. He said, we have decided to move the launch of Cyberpunk 2077 from September 17th to November 19th. Those of you who are familiar with the way we make games know that we won't ship something which is not ready. Ready when it's done is not just a phrase we say because it sounds right. It's something we live by, even when we know we'll take the heat for it. At the same time, we are fully aware that making such a decision costs us your trust and trading trust for additional time. Trust for additional time is one of the hardest decisions a game developer can make. And despite we think it's the right decision for the game, we'd still like to apologize for making you wait longer. Our intentions is to make Cyberpunk 2077 something that will stay with you for years to come. In the end, we hope you understand why we did what we did. Fine. Good. Good. You know what? We have so many games on that's perfect. The one thing I'm hoping with Cyberpunk 2077 is going to do is that they're going to release a full game. Because the last thing we're wanting to do, because with these delays and stuff, is that if we still come in contact and we feel like the game is still empty, then they have nothing to say on this. I mean, it sucks that Cyberpunk got delayed again, but at least it's 2 more months. We are loaded with different kinds of games. But the one thing that I kind of have is I think they should have just waited till the end, just pushed it to the end to next year at that point, because now you're at a time where the next gen systems are going to probably be out during this time. The Series X PS5, and now the one of the highly anticipated games of the year is now coming around that time frame. It's like, and y'all haven't even announced if it's going to be on the like when the next gen version of Cyberpunk is going to come out. Like, y'all at least let us know on that if we need to do anything. Except for me, I'm going with PC. But
same.
Yeah. So like, but the biggest thing is that, you know what, if you want to make the game as perfect as you're wanting to do, I like that. By all means, it sucks, but at the same time, I can wait. I mean, we've been waiting 2 years already. We can wait a little bit longer. It sucks. And I know Citizen B, I'd say he's like, not cool, Cyberpunk 2078 by the time it's released. Yeah. So. Yeah. The game was originally supposed to come out, was slated for March this year. Then it got delayed to September, and now it's November 19th. So, at least they're all this year, you know. I mean, like I like to say, I wouldn't mind if it gets delayed till next year. To be honest with you, like spring next year would be fine with me. So what y'all's thoughts about this?
Well, so I don't mind. I know there are hundreds of thousands of other people that do mind, because they've been locked in their cages and they're ready to freak out. You know, and it sucks because I feel like this is going to open them up to more criticism. Like, if the game is not just perfect to every single person's little nuances. But here's the thing, you know, it's a game at the end of the day. And I appreciate the effort that's being put into something and the talent that it takes to do something like this. I could never do any of this. You know what I mean? And I think the game looks beautiful. I'm excited for it. I'm not mad that we have to wait. I know that it's gonna I'm almost curious if they're waiting for everything to kind of open back up for people to just go back to their normal day-to-day and be less angry before releasing this game.
That's a real good question, man.
You all can't do anything right, so you can't have it. Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't blame them if they did.
I mean, you know how I feel about this too. I've got no problem with the company saying, you know what, guys, we're not ready. We're not ready. We need to delay it. There's more that we need to, be, cause, I mean, again, we know how that goes, where you have somebody come out with a shell of a game and how quickly, you know what I mean? Like, it just gets buried. So I'm glad that they made that decision. I felt like they made it early, again, even though it's another delay, that does kind of, again, it sucks. But I mean, think about it. Look how many games we have just coming out in the next few months. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm completely fine. I'm not even ready to take on a game like this. I've got other things that I need to do, but it does beg the question too that what are they going to do? Because they're getting into territory of when this next gen consoles and stuff are coming out. This is not going to affect me because I plan on getting it on PC as well. However, for those that do get it on console, you're going to have that weird, and I'm sure they're going to do the, free upgrade when we come out in 2022 with it. But, it's like, if you're, it makes you wonder. I don't know if they're simultaneously, which I know some other studios have had issues with trying to work on both the this gen consoles and the next gen consoles. You had Resident Evil 8 just saying, you know what, guys, we're not even gonna mess with this gen. We're just gonna focus on the next gen. They did that like last week, so I'm wondering if they're trying to do this. Huh?
What'd you say about Resident Evil?
They said that they came out that they're no longer going to try to make it for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Okay.
They're just going to focus on the next gen.
That makes sense. I mean, yeah, I think it would
make sense.
Yeah. I mean, it really does.
But I mean, we did talk about it too, though, because now you're losing anybody that's not, now you're exclusive just on the next gen console. So they're kind of also alienating a big base of people that have these current gens. But as far as, within their development and the issues that they were running into, they were able to say, look, it makes more sense to just move on with the new technology. Is it going to hurt our pocketbooks a little bit? Yeah, it is. But you know what? We've got a good, solid crowd. We've got, there's huge people. They've got a huge community within Resident Evil, within that Resident Evil community. So I feel like they made the right decision as far as with doing that. And I'm just wondering if they are running into issues like that, trying to make it for this gen and next gen, and that's what's causing some of these delays.
I don't even know if that's the case though, because what the game was initially was supposed to be slated was I don't think it was a matter of the fact that they were converting between the next gen, because remember this game is supposed to come out the first quarter this year. I feel that this game it's more like there could have been just more pieces that they were wanting to add to it than what was expected is what I'm assuming is what I'm going by. That's not the official one. That's what I'm thinking, because this doesn't seem like something that I could see that they would be like, because I mean, PlayStation 5 and Series X is not something that they decided we're going to release it this year. They've had to have had these kits by like for the past year, maybe 2 years by now. So this is not something like the technology that they were caught with their pants down on this, you know. So I feel that this is something that has to be that it's just possibly that just the debugging is either taking longer than it should have been, or something that they were wanting to add, the system that they were wanting to make wasn't working the way they wanting it to. That's fine. All I pray to God is I just want to hope that it's just going to be a full game. Like, I mean, at this point, like the reason why that they're saying, like when they said in their statement about that they believe of it's ready when it's done, it means that they are legitimately wanting to make sure it is at its full capacity before they send it out to the public. So we don't want to have like what an Anthem did to us last year, and then try to change make them a narrative of like saying, oh, we're going to add more stuff to it in the future. We're going to get most of the meat of the game at day one, as opposed to trying to make this thing become the game that was promised to us all these years ago. So yeah. So like, and especially what Antarctic Ninja said too, it's like, yeah, it's like not nice, and yeah, I'm glad that they are delaying it. It's kind of mad respect. Yeah, this is the one thing, it's transparency. Yes, we're disappointed. Right. We're disappointed that they're doing this, but it's not like something that you should just want to release the game and feel like we're being pressured because people are wanting it. It's like, just let us know, just let the public know that this is what's going on, you know. I just think that it's something that just needs to be more sent out to the community, so people will definitely forgive or understand where y'all are coming from as a developer. Because I know the big way how developers work now is they try to be in secret because of people's opinions and stuff like that. So no, I think what CD Projekt Red is doing so far, for what we've known on when this game's coming out, they've done everything right. So let's just go with it. Let's wait the extra 2 more months, and then we're gonna be shut-ins for this game for like God knows how long. Because I'm going to destroy this game when it comes out. So
absolutely,
yeah. So
absolutely,
definitely through. Okay, Lex, what do you have planned this week?
I think we're gonna finish our weekend rally. Tomorrow is Father's Day, so
it is.
Pop said he wants beef stroganoff, so I have to go to the store and get some supplies for that. Nice. But I will be cooking tomorrow. I'm thinking of maybe getting him to join me.
Hamburger helper.
No. To join me in some either like gaming or like Twitch shenanigans. Maybe we'll do a music stream together. I don't know. Nice. Just hang out with my dad tomorrow, and then of course we'll play some more Last of Us 2. I think we're gonna play some tonight too. I just don't know my time frame for things at this very moment.
You should ask him about the DMCA thing. I'm actually interested in what his take is and all that. Just
absolutely. I can report back a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what he said so far?
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure.
So we fall into the category of
Oh, wait,
performance.
before you go, just to let you know, so Lex's dad used to own like an audio studio, like a studio for music and stuff. That's why I really am interested. So yeah, I'm sorry, continue on.
And for legitimacy purposes, I'll be absolutely transparent. It was called Powerhouse Recordings. It was in Las Vegas, Nevada. He owned it for 20 plus years. So the laws do not help us because currently in our climate, there is nothing for us to do as far as streamers is concerned. We technically fall into the live performance aspect, but we're playing in songs in their entirety. And so because Twitch has rules set in place stating that we are not supposed to do that, even though we do fall under the live category, them muting our VODs for playback later when we are not live is them covering our butts as well as their own. The clips, he didn't really have a comment on that. He was like, yeah, if you push that out for any sort of to bring audiences to you, you are trying to monetize that, and so you are using someone else's product, essentially doing that. He said there's no licensing that we can get as streamers, and there isn't. I've been looking for it. We can't get it. The laws don't exist in our favor as of right now. The laws are old. They need to be redone, and there's no way for us to, like, for instance, let's say Smitty and I have a band. And we go to the House of Blues and we're going to perform and we're going to do covers all night long. Through that venue, we can actually do a licensing agreement where they will then pay the people who wrote the original songs a percentage of what we make, right? So it's essentially you're getting a licensing agreement. We don't have that in our space, in our medium as of right now. And so sadly, because Twitch has rules set in place, if we are then not abiding by them and we get hit with the DMCA, it is our fault. Okay. But in the same breath, it's not fair, he stated. Like, it's not fair because you are doing a live performance. Even your clips are less than a minute. You shouldn't get hit with the DMCA, but they can kind of do what they want if Twitch isn't going to go up to bat for us, which they don't have to. They have rules set in place for a reason. Not just to cover their butts, but to cover ours. There's nothing we can really do, you know? And again, the laws just aren't there yet. Like, yes, it's live performance, but in what aspect? And so we just don't have any licensing at the moment.
Okay.
That we can achieve.
That's fair.
That's the short end.
Okay, well, that's cool. Yeah, definitely. I would love to. Yeah, would love to just have a conversation with him one day, like, about, because I am interested in DMCA's, because DMCA's is all over the place. Like, you know. Yeah. I'm just like, wow. I was like,
he's happy to chat about it. I can get him on.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Oh, right, Smitty, what do you have planned this week?
Yeah, like I said, tonight here at 8 p.m. PST, in about an hour and a half, I'm going to be over on Mishmash TV playing some Destiny 2. We're also raising money for Colors of Change. That charity, I know that we're pretty close on hitting that goal. There's a big, like, I think she was doing a 6-hour art stream is happening right now with Tropical Moisture, and then I'll be on after that to finish it off. Monday, hopefully, keep your fingers crossed. We're supposed to be, I
said moist.
Monday, hopefully, we're scheduled to have a interview with Nolan North. So hopefully that goes down and we're able to still do that, and then back to normal stuff. And obviously tomorrow is Father's Day as well, so I'll probably be chilling and just hanging out and stuff. So nothing too crazy this week, but it definitely, work-wise, things have definitely picked up work-wise as far as videos and stuff. So I've been grinding away a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no, that's how it normally goes. So, no, I mean, well, that's awesome. I know you're always busy as always.
I know it, dude. I know it. What do you got lined up for this week, man?
What are you doing?
I am going to I'm going to relax because of I'm still post-op on surgery, so it's kind of hard for me to play controllers right now. So I'm just gonna wait for probably I will say probably Monday or Tuesday, and then I'm gonna start my stream on what's it called, redeemed highlight. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna do my startup on The Last of Us Part 2 next week after I decided to make it simple and everything. So like after everything's relaxed down, maybe play a little bit Pokemon on my own, but I'm not sure yet. But we'll see. But the big goal is I want to beat Last of Us. Do just a playthrough since I'm off next week. Playthrough of Last of Us Part 2. Love for y'all to come in and definitely join us while I play, and definitely have a good old time. So we'll definitely go with that. All right, guys. Well, guys, thank you so much. This was episode number 53 of the CFG GameCast. Yeah, we will definitely be back again next week with some more awesome content and love more discussions with you and the listeners. So definitely check us out on the podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, or Podbean, or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to see all the different kinds of content that we like to push out. And do us a favor, give us those likes. It goes a long way on the for the podcast services, and we will definitely see you again next week. So this is Davis, Smitty, and Lex signing off. Y'all take it easy.
Bye.